Welcome once again, my fellow manipulators of Digital Fate. I'm Richie, this is Capricorn. Today's deck tech is definitely the last one out of early access for Duskmourn. It is one that we played just towards the tail end of early access, right before they shut off the servers, so we only had time to get a couple games in. This deck's called Converge. And the idea with this deck is we're taking the Jund battle concept that I had a while back, and we're introducing all of the new impending creatures, because they come into play with counters as well, and all of that works insanely well with All Will Be One. So if you guys have been following the channel for a while, you might remember the Jund Battles deck that I made when battles were brand new. Love that deck, one of my favorite decks, and this is sort of an upgrade to that. And I'm really excited about exploring this concept deeper since I only had time to play a couple games here. So yeah, once the set is out, which at the time you're watching this, it's probably already out and you're probably already playing it, but I plan on iterating on this deck for sure, and trying new variations of it, and I'm really excited to do that. But we did get a couple games in, so I'm going to put this deck tech out to you guys and show you what this deck is all about. Before we break down the deck, make sure you like the video if you haven't already. It's you guys liking every video that has helped this channel to grow so quickly. I couldn't do it without you. I appreciate it so much, so please hit that like button. Also, if you're new here, subscribe so you never miss an upload. Tons of crazy deck techs coming, tons of new ideas rattling around in this brain, so I can't wait to get that stuff out to you. Are you a new subscriber? I think we have a new subscriber. Guys, say hello. This is ℏ𝐿𝐼. I call her the Little Miss, or sometimes Pumpkin. She's a brand new kitten, so say hello to her in the comments. I'm sure she would appreciate it. Also, catch us live Monday through Friday over on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/quarantinedcapricorn. Because if I'm alive and I'm breathing, I'm there and I'm streaming. This video has been brought to you? This video has been brought to you by ℏ𝐿𝐼. But it's also been brought to you by Wonders of the First. I'll tell you about that later. Let's break down the deck. Alright, so the idea behind this deck is we're going back to my tried and true idea of an All Will Be One deck using battles, but we are upgrading it with a bunch of new Duskmourn cards, specifically the Overlords that have the impending ability. One example being Overlord of the Hauntwoods here, a 5-mana 6/5 enchantment creature avatar horror, but you can play it for its impending cost, which is much cheaper, just 3 mana, but it enters the battlefield with 4 time counters on it. When you do that, it's not a creature yet, but you have the 4 time counters. At the end of your turn, you remove a time counter, and when the last time counter is removed, it ends up becoming the creature version. So normally this is supposed to be kind of a downside. It makes it take longer to get the full value of the creature, but it gives you options to playing it. But with All Will Be One is a 5-mana enchantment that whenever you put 1 or more counters on a permanent or player, it deals that much damage to target opponent, creature an opponent controls, or planeswalker an opponent controls. So when we play Overlord of the Hauntwoods, comes in with 4 impending counters, we get to dish out 4 damage to whatever we want. Unless we have 2 All Will Be Ones in play, in which case we get to dish out 4 and 4, which is insane. Similarly, Overlord of the Boilerbilges is a 6-mana 5/5. It also has an impending 4 cost for 2 red and 2. When it enters or attacks, it deals 4 damage to any target. So if we play this for its impending cost, not only will it do 4 damage as soon as it enters the battlefield, and eventually 4 turns later turn into a creature, but if we have All Will Be One on the battlefield, it enters with those time counters, and we get to do another 4 damage to whatever we want. Whereas with Overlord of the Hauntwoods, its enters and attacks trigger makes it so that we get another colorless land token that's named Everywhere, that is every basic land type, and it enters the battlefield tapped. So the Overlord's also going to help us to ramp up to get to some of our other win conditions, one of which is Haunted Screen. This comes down for 3 mana, taps for either a white or black mana, or can tap for a green, blue, or red if we're willing to pay a life. So it helps us ramp out to the things that we need super quick, but where it gets really crazy is in the late game, all of a sudden it transitions into being a win condition. We can pay 7 mana, and we can even use the mana generated from the Haunted Screen to do this if we want, and we can turn it into a 7/7 creature. But technically it's a 0/0 creature with 7 counters on it, so if we do that while All Will Be One's on the battlefield, we actually get to do 7 damage to whatever we want, just right there at instant speed. And a lot of times that can come out of nowhere and just take our opponent by surprise and absolutely destroy them. Another new card we're rocking is the Twitching Doll. Comes down for 2 mana, and it can tap for a mana of any color, so it's another way to ramp us into all of our stuff much quicker. But every time it taps for a mana of any color, you get to put a nest counter on it, and then at any time you can tap and sacrifice the Twitching Doll to make a number of 2/2 spiders with reach equal to the number of counters on it, which is pretty good by itself, but with All Will Be One, this is a mana rock that now also pings when All Will Be One is on the battlefield because it adds that nest counter, and then we get to do a damage to something. The last new card is Chainsaw. This is 2 mana for an artifact equipment. When it enters, it deals 3 damage to up to 1 target creature, so we can use this as a really nice removal early on. And then every time a creature dies, we put a rev counter on it, and we can equip it for 3 mana, and the equipped creature gets +X+0, where X is the number of rev counters on it. So not only is it early removal, it can buff up an attacker to alpha strike in for the win later on, but more importantly, if an All Will Be One's on the battlefield, every single time we kill a creature, and this gets a rev counter, we also get to ping for a damage wherever we want. Or maybe 2 damage if we have 2 copies of All Will Be One on the battlefield, so it can get really crazy. In addition, we're running a lot of oldies but goodies. Render Inert helps us remove all the counters from our battles to flip them immediately, as well as draw a card, and now we can also use it to remove all the counters from our Overlords to turn them into creatures immediately, and as long as we cast them the last turn or earlier, they can just swing in because they've been on the battlefield, they don't have summoning sickness, and immediately trigger their attack triggers, which is nice. We've also got 1 Invasion of Regatha to search out, because it can do 4 damage to whatever we want, 1 damage to a creature, and then if we can flip it, it becomes a 4/4 prowess creature that makes it so if a non-creature source you control would deal damage to a creature, battle, or opponent, it deals that much damage +2, which buffs up all of the damage we're doing with All Will Be One and Overlord of the Boilerbilges, as well as some of the other pieces of direct damage we have in the deck. We're also running a couple of Invasion of Karsus. We can search those out with Invasion of Ergamon if we need to, and then use them to wipe the board, and then flip into Refraction Elementals to do even more damage. We've got 4 Invasion of Azgol, so that we can make our opponent sacrifice key creatures. This is important early in the game to make them get rid of their on-curve board presence. Sometimes it can be important late in the game if we swept all the little creatures up with an Invasion of Karsus and leave them with just 1 big creature on the field. We can then take out that last big creature with the Invasion of Azgol. And then the last card is just 1 lonely Invasion of Fiora that we can search up with the Invasion of Ergamon in the right circumstances where we might need it. This will let us either destroy all legendary creatures or non-legendary creatures, and then flip into even more value by becoming Marchesa Resolute Monarch if we manage to remove the 4 counters from it, which we can easily do with Render Inert. This can be really important against some of the especially tricky creatures in the new format. Specifically, Valgavoth is a pain in my derriere. Being able to just pick all legendary creatures, destroy Valgavoth without having to target him because of his crazy ward, and then keep all of our non-legendary creatures like our Overlords is pristine. So this is the deck. If you want to know what the mana base is, check out the description, the link is there. Let's check out the games. I'd like to thank the sponsor of today's video, Wonders of the First. Wonders of the First is a brand new collectible card game similar to games like Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon, featuring a unique action-based resource economy that helps avoid pitfalls like Mana Flood or Mana Screw, and a battlefield containing multiple realms that unlock over time as you fight for control of the stones. The first 400 card set is called Existence and will launch to retail in the fall, but playtest team starter kits are available to order now. And they haven't forgotten about all you collectors out there. The game contains alternate borderless art variants, as well as highly sought after limited edition numbered prints, culminating in a 1-of-1 stone foil. And the best part is that the developers have a community first approach, with 8 print and play decks available on their website, as well as a version of the game available on Tabletop Simulator, all for free. For more information, be sure to check out wondersccg.com today. That's wondersccg.com. Alright, so we're going to start with Raucous Theater. We'll keep the Hauntwoods. And then we'll go Thornspire Verge. Actually, we should have played the Mortuary, since we've got nothing to kill with the chainsaw. Overlord of the Hauntwoods. I am right there with you, my friend. Oh, we don't have green. Alright, so we'll go Haunted Screen. Plays Steaming Sauna. I guess we keep the land, right? We'll just do this. We can Render Inert next turn and still have 4 mana left over. Cast an Overlord if we want. So let's go like this. Alright, we'll hit for 4. And then we'll hit for 6. Make another land. So it's at 8 mana, including the screen. So we Render Inert the Overlord. And then what? Maybe we chainsaw first. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that would allow us to equip the chainsaw. But it can only deal damage to a creature. Azgol. Do we just attack with the haunted screen? I think we do. Hi. Torch the tower. Okay, so he's gonna 2-for-1 my haunted screen. That's fine. That's fine. We can still chainsaw, Render Inert the Overlord, equip the chainsaw, swing, and possibly have 2 counters on the chainsaw. Attack for 7. Depending on if we have 2 creatures to kill, one with the chainsaw and one with the Boilerbilges trigger. Boilerbilges. Makes sense. We will... Do we chainsaw first? No. Azgol. And then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Render Inert. Render Inert. Play the Ashen Reaper. Surveil. Put the land away. Swing. Hit for 9. Put you at 9. Even with 3 Cornucopia and multicolored spells. We're still getting there. Alright, kills the Overlord. It's kind of to be expected. Does he have a creature of his own? Overlord the Ashen Reaper. Sure. What else? Ill-timed explosion. Just draw some cards. Sure. Tricky. Very tricky. Twitching Doll. I guess we just go Boilerbilges. Hit for 4. Pass the turn. He's at 8. But he's gaining life off of Cornucopias. Man, I am trying. I am trying so hard. I am trying so hard. I need coffee. Oh, come on. This deck is so lame to play against. We can't keep this. Oh, this is rough too. We can keep it. We'll put back Boilerbilges. So we'll go Raucous Theater on 1. You know what? Let's keep it. It's gonna be real tricky though. Thran Portal needs to be for green. So we can haunt woods. Alright, play Overlord of the Hauntwoods. Alright, Raucous Theater. Honestly, I think I kind of want that. Let's go Render Inert. Get rid of the time counters. And swing for 6. Make another land. Awesome. Dude, Render Inert putting in work. Hey, what's up, Lawson? Welcome to the stream, my friend. One, two, three, four. We have 6 mana. 6 mana. Let's attack first. See what he does. Get the trigger. Alright, we're gonna play Obi-Wan out. And life is not going to be pleasant for you. over the next turn or two. Cruelty of Gix. Valgavoth. A little too late, my friend. A little too late. Boilerbilges coming in. Oh boy. Oh boy. Dude, that was such a short game. Thanks so much for checking out my channel. I'd like to give a huge shout out to all of my patrons over at Patreon. Without you guys, this channel would not be possible, so honestly, thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of your contributions. If you haven't yet, like and subscribe. The more likes we get and the quicker we get them, the bigger this channel will grow and the faster it will grow. I'd love nothing more than this channel to become something very special for you guys, but it's entirely up to you how fast that happens. Also, if you'd like more deck text, that's somewhere over there. And if you'd like to see what else the channel's been up to lately, that's somewhere up that way. Also, subscribe, circle below, do all the things.